Hello again. Tonight, I thought we would discuss basketball, professional basketball, specifically a famous player of the 90s, George Mikan. George Mikan played with the Minneapolis Lakers. Yes, yes, the Minneapolis Lakers. He was 6 feet 10 inches tall. He weighed 245 pounds. He's generally considered to be the first big man. He led the way to the big guys we know today. Mikan is lauded as the pioneer of modern age basketball. I'm reading from Wikipedia. He was the original center who scored 11,764 points, an average of 22.6 per game. Retired as the all-time leading scorer and averaged 13 rebounds, 2.8 assists, so on and so on. He won 7 BAA and NBA championships, an All-Star MVP trophy, 3 scoring titles, and being member of the first 4 NBA All-Star and the first 6 All BAA and All NBA teams, as well as being declared the greatest player of the first half of the century by the Associated Press. Mikan became so dominant that the NBA had to change its rules in order to reduce his influence, such as widening the lane from 6 to 12 feet. He also played a role in the introduction of the shot clock, and in the NCAA, his dominating play around the basket led to the outlawing of defensive goaltending. Mikan set the stage for the modern age of the NBA, dominated by tall, powerful players. Now, Mikan was, as I say, a large, one of the first big guys. And in those days, there was no rule against goaltending. So he had a field day. He knocked a lot of points out of the basket. But the league took action, and that's how we know today that no goaltending, thanks to George Mikan. As an official, after he retired, he's also directly responsible for the ABA three-point line, which was later adapted by the NBA. The multicolored ABA ball, which still lives on as the money ball in the NBA All-Star three-point shootout. Later on, he was instrumental in bringing a new team to Minneapolis, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, I saw George Mikan play in 1952. Madison Square Garden was occupied by the circus. And since the fledgling NBA wasn't that important, I guess, the circus got priority. And the Knicks had to go look someplace else to play their NBA championship series in 1952 with the Minneapolis Lakers. I went to that game. I remember the Armory, the 69th Regiment Armory in Manhattan, Lexington Avenue. It was an odd place for a basketball game because there was no professional lighting. It was just the ordinary lighting of the armory. And there was no seats to be had, so I stood up above the basket. It was like a running track around the armory. I stood up there and looked down at the game. And the only thing I really remember from that game was one play when Big George Mikan picks up a rebound and starts to dribble straight down the center of the court. And he was an athlete. He was not a heavy, big guy who had to wait to catch up with the rest of the team. He was leading the charge. He was running down towards his offensive basket. 9 guys running with him on either side of him, trying to catch up, trying to prevent him from score, which he did score. Now, in the end, the Minneapolis Lakers went on to win that series 4-3. Now, Mikan retired soon thereafter, and his retirement had an effect on the team because the fans didn't turn out to see him. The fans didn't turn out to see the team because Mikan was no longer on the team. And so the Minneapolis Lakers moved to Los Angeles and became the team we now all love or hate, the LA Lakers. That was 1959. Incidentally, in 1958, the Brooklyn Dodgers moved to LA. And of course, they're the LA Dodgers. Now, Mikan died June 1, 2005. His death was widely mourned by the basketball world. In the middle of the, oh no, excuse me. Mikan incidentally was inducted into the inaugural Basketball Hall of Fame, the class of 1959, and was declared the greatest player of the first half of the century by the Associated Press. Now, when Mikan passed away, there were some wonderful comments made by the LA Lakers. Shaq O'Neal said, "Without number 99, that's Mikan's number, there is no me." Before Game 5 of the 2005 Eastern Conference Finals between the Heat and the Detroit Pistons, there was a minute of silence to honor Mikan. Bob Cousy of the Boston team remarked that Mikan figuratively carried the NBA in the early days and single-handedly made the league credible and popular. And so In Georgia Mikan, we had a great basketball player and one of the most influential basketball players, if not the most influential basketball player in the history of the game. He should not be forgotten.